Welcome to the Gilded Pod, where today we're talking the Gilded Age, Season 3, Episode 4, Marriage is a Gamble. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Reed. With me, as always, Marissa Garza. Marissa, you rich?
I'm so rich today in podcast land. Jason, are you rich?
I'm rich in soul and spirit.
Yeah.
Not monetarily, but we'll get to that. Okay. So, Season 3, Episode 4, it's the big wedding episode. And we figured for the wedding episode, why not bring a fantastic wedding guest? So we have with us here our first guest on the Gilded Pod, the one, the only. If you don't know him, now you're gonna know him. You may know him by several names. He is the baby boy of Rob Has a Podcast. He's a purple pants badass. He is the third Buddha survivor Kagyan. The one, the only, Brice Izyah. Brice, how are you?
Jason, I'm so excited to be here. Marissa, first of all, I have to cuss Jason out because
Obviously.
I wasn't even invited to this podcast, right? Jason at the start of the season was like, we're doing the pod. First of all, Jason knows my love for the Gilded Age. And Jason texted me and was like, hey, me and Marissa are doing this podcast. I said, okay, send me a date.
I left it in your court. I said, you come on whenever you want. You're going to come on every episode, Brice, if you wanted to. And
Listen.
the invitation is an open invitation. Whenever you want to come on, you're more than welcome. Brice, for those that may not be hip to our world of Rob Has a Podcast, why don't you give the people a little bit of a summary of who you are and what you're all about?
Well, I definitely work.
Yeah.
I enter the house underneath. Okay, I don't go through the main doors. I go underneath. But no, I mean, I host the Purple Pants podcast on the RHAP network. I allegedly play Survivor, and I love TV shows, and I love a period piece. That's my 1, 2, 3, boom, boom. And I'm so excited to be here because I love the Gilded Age. Me and my best friend talk about it every Monday. I talked about it with her today because I was like, wanted to prepare for the podcast. I wanted to see what her thoughts were. So I am so excited.
Yes, we are excited to have you for sure. We missed our chance last season when we were on the Poster Recaps Network. So I said we have to get you on for this season. I thought I was doing good by saying you come on whenever you want, but I guess I had to give us a special date. I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's just lined up to be the best episode for you to be here, Brice.
Well,
for sure.
I thought last week's episode was
Also good.
like my episode where we met Miss Kirkland, Bay
Oh,
Bay,
boy.
Phyllis Rashard, Claire Huxtable.
Miss Huxtable's out here just causing havoc. Oh my God.
She is a mess, but I just even love Miss Kirkland's. Well, I love Phyllis Rashad because I love how effortlessly she plays this role. She doesn't do a lot. It's not a lot, but it's like the subtleties of her and how she delivers it is like, oh, chef's kiss. Even though we're not messing with Phyllis on the Gilded Age, but we love her.
I call her Aunt Ruckus. If you know anything about the Boondocks, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, before we get too deep into things, we want to remind you of some free and easy ways you can support this podcast. You can do that by reviewing, rating, and subscribing wherever it is you're going to do those things. Since last episode, we got a few great ratings on Apple Podcasts, so we're asking for you to bring them on in, get those reviews in, get those ratings in, because if you do that, then more eyes and ears will be on this podcast, and that's what we want here. So we're about halfway through the season, so let's get those reviews and ratings up. So, Marissa, let's dive into the episode. So, Brice, who are some of your favorite characters on the Gilded Age? Like, who are you caping up for?
Oh, it's a lot, okay? Now, this might be a hot take, but my all-time favorite, well, I have a lot of all-time favorite characters, but first of all, I'm a Mr. Russell stan.
Railroad Daddy. Who is it?
Okay, and I like Mrs. Russell. Now, mind you, she might be problematic, and I like her. I really feel like they're equally yoked, okay? He's building an empire. She's building her own empire. I also love who is just heartwarming. Now, mind you, I be messing people's names up, but is it Harry? Little Harry? Clock.
Oh, Larry.
Oh, yeah.
Is it
Larry is Bertha's son, and then John Jack is the guy.
John Jack.
Yes.
I like John Jack. Now, I do like Larry. Time. Now we call her Bertha, okay?
Not the Bertha.
Because that sister came in and said, I don't know Mrs. Russell. I know Bertha. I do like Larry, but I'm side-eyeing him, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, I love the main character, the Ida's niece. What's her
Marion?
name?
Marion.
Marion. I love Marion. Who else do I love? I like Aunt Ida, but I tend to lean a little bit more to Miss Van Ryan.
You're
That's just-
Agnes stan.
I'm an Agnes.
I could definitely see you keeping it real like Agnes would be if you had an Ada in your life. It's like, listen here, we're not gonna do this voodoo shit. We're not doing that here.
Right. And I also love Mrs. Scott, and I love Mrs. Scott's father. I love her mother. I love all of the Scotts. So I mean, that's damn near the whole cast. But
Everybody is just
I mean,
love
there's
everyone.
like great characters, so it's not surprising that you love all of
I
them.
mean,
I also love all of them.
I think it's easy to point out to everyone who everyone loves and hates. I mean, everyone probably hates Miss Armstrong. That's what she's here for.
Oh yeah,
She's here for
Oscar.
everyone to hate. Yeah, Oscar. Like Oscar. I'm not the Oscar
Oscar's
fan.
like on a fence for me, but like I have to see what he does with this. Like he's like accumulating clients left and right. Like I'm a little worried given his management of money.
now break this down for me. In last episode or 2 episodes, that was Oscar's ex-lover that
Yes.
gave him that. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Because I was like trying to figure that out. Okay. Yeah. I don't like Oscar. I like Oscar, but I don't like Oscar because one, you was going after Gladys, and it's like, okay, all right, what's your sexuality, Oscar? Because that does matter. Because was you just getting with Gladys thinking like, and also where's the men on men storylines? Okay, like I feel like we're missing.
Yeah. If in fact they were going to go back to that a couple episodes ago, where like Oscar and John Adams are like making eyes at each other. I don't know what John Adams' expectations are going to be. Like, I got you these clients, so you're going to be we back together, or what's happening? I don't know. Oscar weirdly, he was looking at Marion weirdly this episode. He's like, that dress fits you
Right?
real. I was like, Oscar, no, like we're not covering your homosexuality with you being attracted to your cousin. That's not how we're
Right.
doing it. That's not what we're doing here. But yeah, I think we're going to go back to that at some point, Brice. But yeah, I think Oscar is someone that people sit on the fence about. Like, sometimes he definitely can come with a good, witty, dry line every now and then, but it's like you're kind of lazy, not doing very well, not doing a lot, Oscar. So he's up and down for us. Marissa, let's
Yeah.
get into these storylines
Alrighty.
and what we're going to be talking about here.
Well, I mean, I don't think we can avoid talking about the wedding. That was the big thing this episode. We had a lot going on. Gladys was like pulling the greatest teenager act of all time. I'm not coming downstairs. I'm not going to do anything. Mom, I won't even greet your aunt or your sister who we didn't even know existed until an episode ago. So I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on like the pre-wedding things that had happened. We got introduced to Monica, Bertha's sister, who is played by Merritt Weaver, who is in one episode of The Good Wife for the Good Pod followers, and also other things like she was in Nurse Jackie. She was in Severance
Nurse
most
Jackie.
recently. So she's in here. She's arriving on the scene. We had that really awkward dinner the night before the wedding. So what stood out to all of you in the pre-wedding day adventures of Gladys and the Russells?
I really loved the addition of Merritt Weaver as Aunt Monica, bringing in someone from Bertha's, poor past. You see how it really rankled her. Like, wait a minute, I can't have people knowing where I came from, have this uncouth person here. I love how Merritt Weaver played it, because she usually plays comedic roles, and she kind of came in here and did that here. I know her from Nurse Jackie, where I loved her in that role in that show. But she really came in here really trying to tell, remind Bertha, you know where you came from, right? Like, don't remember where you came in. You came from the dirt. Don't forget that. I love how she was shading people, shading Bertha every chance you get. I love that character.
Yeah, I loved Aunt Bertha. I thought the most pivotal thing from Aunt Bertha was actually at the wedding. And I'm saying Aunt Bertha. Was Aunt Monica?
Monica.
Yeah.
Aunt Monica.
It's okay, we got you.
When Monica and Bertha were at the wedding, and Bertha was like, they were shading each other and Bertha was like, look at the room that you're in. And Monica said back to her, baby, I could say the same thing to you. look at this room that you are in. Like, this is all of the things that you are built up to be. Like, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I like Monica. I think she's interesting. And obviously she kind of carries the bones because they let us know 3 years ago, we ain't know who the hell Miss Russell was. Now all of
Yeah.
a sudden you just popped up on the scene. But if we could go back to that pre-dinner,
Yeah.
baby, it is revealing some things to us that it's like, what's going on with the Duke and his sister?
Yeah,
Okay.
like it's so busy at home, Brice. Like there's just so much going on. Like it's so busy. We have to leave like right away. Like we just have to go.
Yeah.
We can't stay here. And there's like so much to do at the castle and London. There's just so much. It's a little shady.
Well, and I love that Bertha spends so much time looking down her nose at people. And now Lady Sarah is coming to do the same thing to Bertha. Bertha's like, wait a minute. I am Bertha. I am Mrs. Russell. You can't be looking down your nose at me. So
Right.
in judging from the previews we're getting at the end of this episode, Sarah's going to be a character in the upcoming episodes that's going to be like giving Gladys a real hard time. So that's going to be interesting. I do wonder if there's going to be a Bertha Sarah like face off at some point, because the way Sarah was like shading Bertha, like, oh, okay, you're just Mrs. Russell, you're not nobody. It's like,
Right.
Bertha's like, I spent 3 years building what I have here. You're not going to tell me what I am and what I'm not. Bertha is so wanting to be accepted. She's letting it go right now. She's just letting all the little slights go.
Yeah, she said, well, we're family now. Sarah said, well, I guess we are.
In
but
a
for
way.
me, it's right, in a way. But it's like, is y'all sleeping together? Like, it's something
Oh, you
weird.
think so? Ooh.
Oh, it's giving like
Yeah.
she's this mother role. It's something weird that I need to see. And when I watched the preview, it gave like, okay, there is something weird between their relationship and we need to figure it out.
Well,
and not too much for my girl Gladys.
you know, it is the royal family. Like that's all. I mean, like it is.
Things get pretty
Yeah,
mucked
seen
up.
Game of
It's
Thrones.
over there,
It's
you
giving
know.
it's
Can we also talk about at that wedding though, or at the dinner the night before the wedding? Monica had come in saying basically, "Hey, sis, I only have one dress. I'm gonna wear one dress. This is the only dress I've got, and it's great. Like I could do it for the dinner, for the wedding, no big deal." And Bertha, of course, is like, "No, this is not going to work." And she takes matters into her own hands by getting coffee to spill on her own sister by serving it to her
gosh.
in a broken teacup. I was like, this is insane, even for her.
I
That's
love
like-
the plot. I love the plot of the church. So she gives church like the, all right, you know what to
Yeah.
do. Give her the little cup. You kind of chipped in the back. You bring it like, no, oh, you don't get this stuff. This is Aunt Monica's cup. This is the only cup Aunt Monica's gonna get, and that's Aunt Monica's cup. And it's like, oh wow, like that is so devious. But Monica needs to like give a little bit of her like DNA to Gladys to stand up for herself, because Monica was like, when it's like, you surely have more than this dress, right? It's like, no, I got this, and that's pretty much it. I don't know what you want from me. It's like, and Bertha's giving her, well, I got a dress when I get up, I got a dress for noon tea, I got a dress for dinner, I got a dress for lunch. I'm like, wow, okay. Listen, my mode is 2 modes: work clothes. When I come home, I get them my lounge clothes. Those are my 2 modes of dress for the day. That's kind of what Monica was saying.
Miss Russell lives like I'm on vacation. Because when I pack for a vacation, I definitely be like a morning outfit. If we go out outfit, like, so I love that. And also it's like, I want to be on Monica's side, but it's giving, girl, you're coming for a wedding for multiple days and you talking about wearing the same dress. I was with Bertha on this one. Like, no, we're going to need to get you something else. Okay. This ain't Albany. This is the big city, sis.
It's like, girl, we don't have a washing machine. Like, people need to wash. People are gonna wash this by hand. It's gonna take 3 hours to wash. You can't just be running around all day in the same smelly outfit. We gotta get you some new clothes in here. But yeah, Monica's just like, nah, I'm good. And like, Bertha's like, okay,
Did
you
we
good, huh?
pick?
All right, we're gonna see. We'll see. We see whether you good or not.
Did we pick up which
That's
one is
also
older?
why-
Oh, go ahead.
I definitely think Monica's older, just in the
Yeah.
way that she like the way that Mrs. Russell responds to her. She has to be the older sister. And it's like, I feel like Monica is everything Miss Russell wants to be in this society. Like, Monica doesn't care. She's comfortable with who she is. Like she just shows up, and it's like, for me, that's so interesting because it's like, that's what Miss Russell wants to give, but Miss Russell cares so much about status. She cares so much about what people think of her, and which rightfully so. You've come from nothing. We've seen you these past 3 seasons go from losing everything, gaining everything, and getting it back, which is why I love the Russells, and especially Mr. Russell, because it's like they're willing to bet it all. But I wish Mrs. Russell, aka Bertha, had some of Aunt Monica in her, because I like Aunt Monica. I like what she gives. She don't, we all got them cousins. We all got we all have those. We all have Aunt Monicas.
I love how like during the dinner she was asking Lady Sarah like, "Oh, do you live in the castle? Oh, yeah. Do you think you're gonna move out after the wedding? Huh. I wonder if Gladys has thought about that. I know I would." Just like the quiet parts out loud and just making sure that like everyone's kind of thinking about what's actually happening here, which I, as an older sister, appreciate.
See, I thought that I got the shade, but I also took that as, was Monica trying to insinuate, like, should she be living with the Russells? Right? Like, should the sister? Like, that's, I kind of got that shade from, like, Bertha being like, oh, you got married and your sister's still going to live with you? Interesting, right? Like, I don't know, but like, I get what you're saying.
No,
but I was like,
I think that's right, because like earlier in the episode, because the whole reason Monica is here is because Larry decided to write to her and say, hey, my sister's getting married, unbeknownst to his mother. And so, but in here, like, she's like, well, then she'll have to stay with us. And he's like, what, is the house too small? Like, can we not do this for her?
I loved the ganging up on that was happening there from Larry, George, and Gladys was in on it too. Like, oh, you're ashamed of your sister, or we're gonna get her here just to F with you, just to mess with you a little bit. I don't know why Larry, he's poking the bear of his mother, because Larry, you need to get on Bertha's good side like now, because you have this marrying thing going on. You're gonna need Bertha to be on your side. I don't know why he keeps poking the bear like he does.
Well, but he also was like trying to get Marian in as a bridesmaid, so.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one step closer to like him marrying Marian, because obviously, aunts, not Ida, but aunts
Agnes.
Ada.
Agnes clocked it. Like, girl, why? Like, why is Miss Russell giving you this esteem? And so I was like thinking about that, because I'm like, Larry, you do need to get on your mom's good side. However, I do think that men have it a lot different, and I don't think, it will be as such a huge thing for Larry to marry Marian as for Gladys and Marian the Duke. And since we are just talking about Marian the Duke, I'm not mad. Like, listen, at this point, I feel like Gladys is being a little spoiled brat, and I'm gonna just go out there and say it.
Brice.
Because listen.
Love, Brice. What about love?
Listen, you wanted to marry that little boy that couldn't even go up to your daddy with the most influential men. Like, if you love me, even if you're embarrassed, like that for me, that's when I was like, okay, I'm with Mrs. Russell, because at the end of the day, and sorry, when Gladys walked down them steps and they said, hip, hip, hooray, we all saw that look in Gladys's eye where she was like, oh.
Okay. Yeah. People like me now.
Okay.
That's your status. People hip hip hooray at me. No one hip hip hooray at me before today.
Right. So it's like, yeah. Now, I don't really like, because Gladys at this point is probably like 15, 16, and Mr. Russell's in his 30s. We won't talk about that, because that's the sign of the times. But I am not mad at my mom setting me up with this Duke that I am going to be the talk of the town. I'm going to be on the Vogue to look like. I'm not mad at that. And I think that is like really smart. And I'm going to die on that hill. Mr. Russell is out here trying to build these railroads, trying to make this dynasty in this industry. And so is Miss Russell. Miss Russell is trying to make the Russell name, these connections. And like, well, you got to pimp your daughter out. Miss Russell is saying, here you go. Now, I don't like that part, but listen. Child, I wish my mom would.
That's how society works then, though, right? Like, she's using her resources to her best ability. And she also mentioned in the last episode, like, business and society are linked. You fall, I fall. Like we have to keep things going. So we're really seeing like her quote unquote business acumen here and displaying her setting up her daughter to marry a duke. But yeah, like it's just a symptom of the times, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wishes that they could do what Bertha's doing right now. Everyone's jealous of Bertha for pimping out her daughter, like, because that's the way it went back then. Because we're watching this with 2025 sensibilities, a lot of us, except for Brice, who was down for pimping daughters, is like, what are you doing, Bertha? How could you go against Gladys like this? But at the time, everyone's like, yeah, Bertha, you go, girl. Like, you get your daughter that Duchess ship, or whatever they call it.
And it's this, like we were talking before we hit record, right? Like, it's this theme of this season where it's like these marriages attach you. Here we go having Ida and Aunt Agnes's good cousin, our favorite cousin that we've loved these 2 seasons, and she's being thrusted into Newport because her husband want to get up with this old scallywag, and now she has to divorce him when she, like, this girl was ready to go to the opera. Can you imagine your spouse coming home and you being like, what you wearing for the opera? And you like, hey, baby, hey, it's over. I'm with her.
She has her gewgaws on. She had her gewgaws on.
Like it's and we see this time and time again. We see this with the cook. We see this with she's still bound to this marriage, and it seems like these marriages, like, they deft you apart. And especially if you're a woman, right? Like, depending on how your marriage ends, your life is over. So in the aspect of Miss Russell trying to set her daughter up to be in the best situation of these marriages, because women have little say. And if your husband wants to cheat on you, and then once you have to file for a divorce, and then you get banished, baby, I'd rather that happen in a castle, if you're asking me.
Yeah. I am really hoping that the Aurora storyline, like Brice, I likened it last week to like waiting to exhale, or like still got her groove back. Like I'm just hoping Aurora like comes out of this better for some way, like bucks the hierarchy and like comes away with all of Charles's money or something. I don't know. I just hope we something like that happens, because Aurora can't be tucking her tail between her legs in Newport this whole time. That'd be end of the story. It has to be something else coming after that.
Yeah, and I think like historically, like this is a conversation that's happening, right? Like the only way that people can get divorced is if someone brings a charge of adultery to the table. And we're clearly finding out there are more things than adultery that can break a marriage. And especially in the wedding scene when the priest is like, listen, if you have any reason, like it's basically like, if you lie to me, you're going to hell. Like there's also like spiritual, wellness involved in this for people as well. But it all like rests on the woman's shoulders. And then her livelihood is tied. She doesn't have any social mobility but marriage. Like that is the only way to really move up in the world. I mean, we're seeing Peggy kind of do some things on her own, but that is a rare instance at this time, just to ground everyone in the historical aspect of the time. And I mean, these marriages are also still happening today. I don't want to say that, but they are. People are still being promised away. So,
yeah. Can we talk a little bit about the leaks that are going on in the Russell household? Who are our culprits? What is going on around here?
Adelheid
what are our thoughts?
Very suspicious in my mind, because Adelheid, because she's like, it can't be someone in the house. Maybe it's the dressmaker. I think it's the dressmaker. What about the dressmaker? Did I mention it's the dress? I was like, okay.
But she's got a point, because they're scared of Miss Russell because they don't believe that she wants this to get out. And so she's like, I'm Gladys's handmaid. Like, I know the most intimate details, but I think it's Gladys. I believe it's Gladys, because this is Gladys trying to get back at her mom because of like all of these details. I do probably think it is the dressmaker, but it definitely has to be coming from Gladys, because Mrs. Russell, Bertha, runs a tight ship in that house.
Well, and that is the tactic that Bertha would use on her. Like she's used it on her own children. She has done the whole thing. So she's like, hey, Ma, I see your play and I'm going to play it for my benefit, as opposed, you wanted me to have this life. Here it is. I'm gonna use it against you.
But I mean, not people knowing what you got monogrammed on your britches. I mean, dang, that's a lot.
I didn't need to know that. Yeah, I didn't need to know that.
That was so crazy.
Let's talk about the wedding day itself. There was a lot going on here. So first of all, because Marion had become a bridesmaid, Bertha decides, okay, my daughter won't come downstairs. You know who I think could make her come downstairs? Let's call over Marion from across the street and see if she can talk her into coming downstairs and getting married to this duke. Like, let's just see. How do we think this played out?
Listen, Marion, the pressure is on. Like, this is your time to impress Bertha and maybe get into Bertha's good graces. When it comes time for Larry to pop the question, she's all for it. If you get Gladys come downstairs, that's the ultimate thing for Bertha right now. So I think that this is Marion's time to shine. And I do like Marion giving her all the pros and cons. Of like, listen, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
You can use this platform to really like be a philanthropist. And Gladys is like, I don't be no damn philanthropist. Like, I don't care about people.
Yeah, it's interesting because, again, even in the interaction with Mrs. Russell and Marion, you can see that Mrs. Russell isn't really genuine, right? Like, you can see Marion being like, oh, like, I like your son. And like, but Miss Russell is just trying to do anything that she can to get Gladys down. And I think that Gladys and Marion have really built up this really good relationship when we see them together. And I like Marion's advice to Gladys, because Gladys is like, would you do it? And Marion's like, baby, our situations is a little different.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Like, I don't come from this to do family. Like, I actually was sent up here with my aunts. And like, I am one step from being a black sheep in this area if I don't land a good husband. So I really did like that contrast. And I think it did help Gladys in the moment. But shout out to Zaddy Russell.
Yeah.
Because like, he broke his promise, but then he kept his promise, because I just like the fact that he laid it out straight for Gladys and was like, listen, I'm sorry. I did say you this. I did tell you you wouldn't have to, but your mother is your mother. And now things are in motion. However, if you don't want to come down these steps, I'm not going to force you. Like, I was like, Mr.
He was all
Well,
like, he was like, Bertha, it's okay, leave. Like, get out of the house. Get out of the house. I got this, and I'll have this talk with my daughter.
Nah, see, I don't agree, because it's like George comes up, he's like, well, today's a day, right? You could not come down. You would shame your whole family if you didn't. But you could not come down. The choice is yours. Just know that you will shame yourself and your family. So, I mean, listen, the choice is yours.
But
I'm just saying. If you don't.
he
But he's
also,
keeping it real, though. Like, he
Yeah.
wasn't lying.
he kept it, and
No,
he
but it's
also
like,
said,
where was
like,
this attitude? Where's this attitude weeks ago when he could have been like, no, Bertha, we're not doing this. Now he's all like, well, the choice is yours. The choice is not mine when you were pressuring me a few weeks ago to go along with Bertha because you can't stand up to Bertha for real. Like, I was like, all right. I mean, I see it. I see what you're all talking about. But it was almost like, it was like giving her an impossible choice.
Well,
like, okay, you can not do this.
he's
You'll shame
also
everybody, but
in an
you cannot do
impossible
it.
choice, though. Like, he's like, he understands the correlation between what Bertha does in his business. He understands the fact that the role that he has to play in this, and he understands that he is a father in this instance as well, and has brought up to her, like, listen, if you don't go, it's going to be worse for you than it's going to be for him. Like, I'm just telling you right out the gate, like, this is how it's going to be, and we're kind of beyond the point of no return. Like, there's really nothing. So this, like, if you don't come down the stairs, I will support you. I will tell people, like, this is the last effort that I can give you as my daughter, especially because, you're going to get out of boat and go to England if you marry this guy anyway. And this is the last day in your house and probably the last conversation we'll have in this house ever again. So if this is it, and I will support you.
But let's also be clear, Mr. Russell isn't scot-free in the sense of
Right.
how messy Bertha is. So is Mr. Russell with his businesses, because not the day that your daughter is getting married, you got Stanley Morgan showing up to your house.
Stanley
JP Morgan, but yeah.
JP, okay, JP. You got JP Morgan showing up to your house. And first of all, the dowry money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's not forget the dowry money that we promised this Duke, baby. If I recall last episode, we didn't had to push that to try to get these people to give us our mine land. So it's like, Mr. Russell, like, not only do you need this wedding to go forward, well, actually, it would be in your for a second because you would have that money, but people will start questioning, and then it really would then turn to like, oh, are their finances not in order? Like, so it's like, as messy as he is with the business, he really does need to make this work as well, because if the people start talking, and they already are about to start talking, because JP Morgan, okay?
Yeah, he's
So-
there. And he's basically saying like, hey, George, like all the banks are going down and you're out here gambling with our assets, our future, our money, and we don't understand the future. And George is all like, we need the railroad. Like they can't see it. And this is like the typical like visionary problem dilemma that people have. But he has gambled with his money. I mean, the title of this episode is Marriage is a Gamble. And he has done that to a point where now he's like, well, can't fail. We're going to go forward. We're going to get all the land. We're going to take Chicago with me. But I was watching a TikTok today, and it reminded me that at the very first episode, when Marion is like settling up because her husband died and she has to go like move in with Ada and Agnes, she was given by her then husband, railroad bonds, and no one knows that she has these railroad bonds. So she is like, she could be the missing piece in all of this for George. And so now that he's got like the whole Gladys thing of like, I didn't keep my promise to Gladys, everything. If Larry comes up and is like, hey, I want to marry Marion, and he finds out that we've got these railroad bonds, you know, this is now of interest to George. And he can totally say to Bertha, like, hey, look, I played your game with the Gladys thing. Like, this is for real with me. And you're going to let my son marry Marion. Like, I think I totally forgot about that. And so I'm grateful that I was reminded, because that's just like turns this whole thing.
Very true. Now, I don't want to jump around too much because I know
It's
y'all
fine.
got this little
It's
thing.
fine.
But can I give you what? Okay, that's JP Morgan coming. If you can hear in the background, that's JP Morgan coming for Mr. Russell. What I am so concerned about is JJ or HH, Henry. For whatever reason, throughout this whole business of this clock and him working with Larry, I have been so sus of Larry, right? Like, I feel like we like him through Marion. He seems upright. He seems like this good guy. But I just feel like in this society that we are watching and in, it is so easy for the good guy to take this little poor servant boy and something go wrong and he just snatch his dream away from him, is what I'm so scared of. And what I am predicting, well, first of all, I want him to get that money, but I feel like the Russell money, something's going to fall through. And I feel like this is Larry's time, because, you know, Larry, he's been trying to figure himself out. You know, last season, the Russell father wanted him to like follow in his footsteps. And now he's like supposed to be figuring himself out. I'm so nervous that the dad, something's going to fall through and he's going to be like, I got this 600,000.
Yeah.
And they're just going to snap. I'm just so scared. I need HH to just get that money and I will be happy. But I'm just so scared that they are going to do something shady to him. And he's such a good, I love him.
JJ, Jack, AKA the Clock King, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it was a little too easy, right? It's just like, hey, great news. You have $300,000 now. So if you've watched TV for any amount of time, you know it's not going to be that easy.
Well, I was like,
going to happen.
Did you sign? Money. I didn't see any signing. Like, did you sign something? Do you have a paper? Like, what's going on? Like, how this? It was just like a handshake. And I know a handshake meant a lot back then, but like, really get it in writing, JJ. Get it in writing.
And then I was a little mad at JJ because it's like, you're selling this patent, but if they're willing to pay this amount of money for it,
someone else might pay more.
Right. Like, but again, if I'm JJHH, I'm taking that money. But I just feel like, so are we going to direct deposit this? How is
the money coming into my hands? Like, let's talk about that. Like, does Larry get it? It seems like this would be a story thing where Larry does get it first, and it's Larry's responsibility to parse it out to JJ. And in that transition,
well, and like looking at the upcoming weeks, the what's next thing that came at the end of the episode. Like, he is gambling. Is he gambling with JJ's money? Is he, because I don't know, like, JJ's walking around this episode. I have $300,000. I did some math just so that we know. The deal for $600,000 in 1895 is about $10 million $2025. So this is like life changing for JJ. And if Larry's out there gambling away what is equivalent to our $5 million, like that could be the thing that falls. That could be what happens.
Larry, you about to be my footman, okay? You about to be waiting on me hand and foot if you get away my money, okay? Because that ain't gonna fly. He gonna fly around here,
right?
Yeah, I can see because Larry is someone that's very like high in his own supply. So I can see him going to like a Vegas, being like, I can't lose. I'm Larry. I mean, like, boom, craps, you're out. You're done. Like, oh. Damn,
well, like, let's line it up, right? Like, he pulled one over on his mom by getting his aunt invited to the wedding. He got his girlfriend into the wedding. He just got $600,000 by partnering up with the guy across the street. Like, he is rolling high. And we saw what happened in Newport last season when he wants something, he's gonna go after it, just like his dad. But he doesn't have like the experience and the knowledge to really know what to do with it. And so I'm a little worried as well.
JJ is going to go walk over to the Russell house like, this is all mine now. This is my house. This is all my servants. This is all my people.
It's scary though, because like, even if Larry does him wrong, what avenues
he has no recourse.
There's no, like, it's scary for me. And it's like, I love JJ. I want JJ to do wrong. And it's like gagging me that JJ now has more money than Aunt Agnes and that
Ada.
whole house.
Yeah.
And Aunt Ada. Now, JJ, the one person you don't want to tell is Oscar, okay? Because that,
But, and like JJ is such a sweet soul. Like, he comes into the house, he's like, I don't want to tell anybody. I don't want to do this. Like, just the joy that he's having to hold back in his face when he walks back into the house after he makes the deals. Like, I have some great news. I don't want to tell anybody. Then when he tells Mrs. Bauer, it's like, listen, this is the only home. This is my family. Like, I don't want to leave. Like, this man's about to be an equivalent of today's millionaire, still working as a footman for the Van Ryns. I mean, at some point, he's going to be like, listen here, heifers. I got more money than both y'all combined. I don't need this shit no more. I'm out of here. Maybe I'll come visit every now and then, but I can't do this no more. But for right now, he's like, I still want to be working here. I want to be a footman. I want to keep my family intact.
But, and that's the reason why I love it, JJ, right? Like, it's not like because, first of all, I'm going to spend that money before it hits my account, okay?
Yep.
Like, he is thinking, what next? He is thinking like, this family that I have built in these servant quarters is all I know. I don't want that to change. That just speaks to his character, how much we love him. Like, he's not thinking like, oh, I can buy a house, I can do this. He's like, oh my God, my world is going to change. I don't know what that's going to look like. And he's like, what am I going to do? I still want to work. I don't want to be one of these rich people that like, and I swear for God, Larry Russell, if you do wrong by JJ, it's all going to come back to you. Don't.
No, yeah, because he's like at that when they get back from the deal, JJ's like, I don't know what to do. Like you were saying, like, what do I do now? And Larry's basically just like, live off the money, yo. Like,
be rich.
Like, this is what it means to be rich. And it does not compute in JJ's mind. And even when he tells, Mrs. Bauer downstairs, she's like, oh, yeah. Like, before she knew how big it was, like, yeah, you'll just keep inventing. Like, you'll just keep going. Like, this is just a thing that you'll do. And this is like something I don't think JJ ever thought in his wildest dreams could be something that happens. And he's in a very vulnerable spot because he's from a different world. Remember back when they were getting their suits made? It's like, I'm going to teach you how to be rich, JJ. And basically, Larry says, all right, JJ, good luck with that. Good luck telling the people in your life. I'm going to go home. I'll see you later.
You know what's next, JJ? It's you just keep innovating that clock. You made the alarm clock. Next up, the best and worst innovation of the clock, the snooze button. That's next.
Yeah, I love JJ's little girlfriend. The other, like, I love I love them together.
Bridget.
Like, I'm just so worried for JJ. And so, like, I just hope that they do him right They better do
I
him
hope-
right.
I hope it works out in the end because I do kind of want to see what it would look like for JJ to enter this society. Like he's gonna have a new role if he like gets this money and decides that he doesn't want to keep being a footman. He wants to enter this society he'll be on the new money side
Yeah.
with the Russells. So he'll be not hobnobbing with them, and it'll be interesting to see how Agnes and Ada take to that as old money. Now their former footman is new money, and he's gonna be rubbing elbows with them.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about money. We still have the sisters, Agnes and Ada, trying to figure out their new like power structure. They're shopping for what dresses to wear to the wedding. And then Agnes is like, is everything that I purchased going to be under scrutiny? And she's like, yeah, it was the same for me.
This is the 4th episode in a row where we're trying to figure out the new structure. I think we get it. I think Ada has all the money. Agnes, you need to get used to it. I was like, okay, we had the same conversation for 4 episodes in a row. Let's let it lie for a little bit. But you have to love Christine Baranski as Agnes, always being so like put upon, like, how dare you tell me what I can spend money on? I didn't scrutinize you, did I? And it's like, well, yeah, you actually did. She's like, well, you deserve to be scrutinized because you were buying clothes, you were never going out, so you deserve to be scrutinized, not me. And I love that, Ada's finding her power. Ada's like, you know what? I think I will scrutinize every single thing you spend money on, and I'll tell you what you can and cannot spend money on, like you did me. So there, man.
But it's like I'm still with a Agnes because like it's just interesting like how, and again, it is like this in today's society, right? Whose name is on the check? Who is paying for the bill? And it is like Agnes or Aunt Agnes, she's been doing this, right? Like there is something to be said to that, right? Of like how you move. And again, it's like Agnes is just the more dominant sister, right? Like Agnes is Bertha, right? Like we see these sister dynamics. So it doesn't matter who has the money. We know who is in power. And when we get to Aunt Ida with Mrs. I'm killing these names, Mrs. Brewster, Mrs. Bauer, and the Miss called me Miss Cleo now, right? Like, now don't get me wrong, because I don't believe Miss Bauer had any ill intent for Agnes, right? I feel like she probably goes to her and speaks to her husband. However, seeing that lady, baby, she is a con artist. And it wasn't for, and even though Aunt Agnes. When Aunt Agnes walked up in there and was like, what is like, she immediately saw like, girl, is you dumb?
Well,
are you dumb?
Yeah, well,
like, she will eat us out of house and home. You want to be scrutinizing my dresses? Bitch, I need to be scrutinizing this. What is this?
Well, and she, like, first of all, the psychic is played by Andrea Martin, who you may have recognized from My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and also other places. But she's there. She's like doing the typical like psychic thing of someone is here. It's right. Someone is here. Yeah, it's a man who wants to talk to you. And so, yeah, I mean, it's definitely setting up to be a scam.
It was like, I wonder if Mrs. Bauer, before everything started, like slipped Mama Dashkova like $1 to be like, hey, so if you could just say that like Luke is okay with us drinking, I think it seems like it's almost why Mrs. Bauer is doing this. Like, listen, I need my drinks at the end of the night.
She need her beer, okay? She need her beer at night.
I need to take the edge off at night because these people drive me crazy. So if you could just tell her that Luke says it's okay for us to drink, then we'll be good. I feel like that's the whole reason Mrs. Bauer is starting this thing. Like, and he says it's okay if we drink, right, Mama? Let's go over it.
But you see how gullible Aunt Ida is, though, right? Like, and here's the thing, though, right? I'm not mad at it, right? Because when I be down the shore, I'll go to a psychic. Like, I think it's fun, but I think we see Cynthia getting into this. Wait, what's her last name? Cynthia
Nixon.
The actress.
I love Cynthia Nixon. Okay, but like we see how she's like putty into this lady's hands, and it's going to be an expensive bill. And it's like, thank God you have a sister like this that's like, girl, what are you doing? Now, obviously, she probably will continue to keep doing this, but girl, your husband was a man of God, right? Like you telling these people not to drink the devil's juice. baby, you are playing in the devil's hand. Like it's just so interesting to see. It's someone just being taken advantage of, and it's like, girl, like what? Like no.
Yeah.
Not witchcraft. Like do not partake in this witchcraft, baby. Your husband Luke was a man of the cloth. How could you dare do this?
Well, and like what happens if other people find out that was happening in the house, and then like what would people think, and what would Peggy's family think? Like there's a lot of things that can happen, especially if like Bertha's there with like glasses looking across the street. Who is this lady who keeps coming into?
Bertha probably know her though. Bertha probably know her from Albany, so like that wouldn't even shock me.
Did I see Mama Dashko coming outside your house?
Girl, what you doing up this end? Okay, now wait. So I need for y'all to help me figure out some stuff that happened at the wedding.
Yes, okay, tell me.
Now, our cousin, Aunt Ida and Ada's cousin.
Marion.
No,
wait. Cousin Aurora.
Aurora, the one whose husband is doing her dirty.
Yes. She's up in Newport.
She's up in Newport. Also, it's
Peggy
like so funny how they shun the women, like they go to Newport, but that's also like the place where like Black people are like thriving, but like they shun all the other people. And it's like, oh, now you got time to go see it. Now you got time to go see a Black woman speak. But anyway, I digress. Now, am I correct to believe that somebody wrote into the newspaper talking about the affair, and that is why? Am I getting them confused?
So they're two different things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Aurora Fane thing is basically right now just like on the know, like in the know. Like people who are just in the know about it. It has not been put in the papers that we know, even though Charles Fane is like going around town with his mistress and all this stuff. But what was put in the paper was about Mrs. Astor's family. The Astors were basically like the biggest, richest family before Bertha arrived. And she was like, I need to become friends with Mrs. Astor. She was on the other side of the opera war last season.
Okay.
And so there's like this very cryptic news that comes out the day of the wedding that says basically like Mr. B, which was Mr. Barrow, who Mrs. Astor's daughter was talking to at a party. Mr. B challenged Mr. Drayton, Charlotte's husband, to a duel. And so like this is really not good for Mrs. Astor, who's like the prim and proper, like everything is like I am the picture of society. If her daughter's husband and a possible lover are having a duel. And so like this is
Astor's mess.
Yeah,
her mess is getting put all on the street.
Doesn't
The
like
tea
it.
is being spilled all
like
over
it.
Miss Astor because Miss Astor's daughter is basically two-timing her husband, and now the lover and the husband are going to come to blows, and everybody's like, oh, let me find out. You daughter over here two-timing her husband, and they about to fight. They about to fight in the street. Like you want to see this on an episode of Cops, like in the Gilded Age version of Cops. This is what it's going to be. And Miss Astor's just like clutching her pearls, like, oh my God, people are going to know about all my business. Like she uninvites her daughter to, like, you are not going to the wedding. Like you are an embarrassment to me. Get out of my face. Like, and then everybody's at the wedding like, ooh, girl, let me hear about
where's your daughter at? Oh,
yeah.
What do you mean, where's my daughter? But also, this lends to the theme that I was talking about, like where we get to see another side of the marriage, where the woman is actually the adulterer and she's living her best life and she got the men fighting after her. Okay, love that. Now, second thing I need for y'all to clear up. The hussy that I do not like that was trying to get with Mr. Russell.
Mrs. Winterton? I was like, oh my God, Winterton is back. Yes. I forgot about her and I was like, oh, I forgot you were around.
She was Mrs. Turner.
Yes, the former Mrs. Turner, because I was talking to my best friend when the season first started. My best friend was like, oh, her storyline is done. We're not going to see her again. Baby. First of all, Bertha, why are you even inviting her? Like, that's your problem trying to keep up with the Joneses. And that's what Aunt Monica was saying. Like, girl, look around here. Like, I could say the same thing about you. Now, correct me if because you know, I like to have a little glass of wine and sometimes, a little broccoli in my salad when I watch the Gilded Age because it makes me feel like I am there. Now, the hussy that used to be the handmaid.
Yep.
there was drama, right? Or did she say her husband was ill?
She did say
So-
that.
Yeah, so it seems like Mr. Winterton is on his way out the door in terms of living. That's why I surmised. She was like, because Mrs. Fisher's like, oh, I mean, it's not like he's on death's door or something. And Mr. Winterton's like, now the
And
question is Miss Winterton pushing him out the door
Right.
to get all his money is my
Yeah.
question.
And like the only currency that she has or that women have is information, right? So she's at this wedding and she's like trying to learn everything that's going on with Mrs. Astor, like that whole thing, so that she can use it to her advantage. But then also she's like, who?
Monica.
Monica. Like I never knew about it. She almost outs herself as being a former ladies' maid.
Because I had forgotten that this was a secret that Mrs. Winterton used to be the Russells' handmaid. I had
Bertha's.
forgotten. I was like, oh yeah, because Mr. Nathan Lane was like,
McAllister.
how would you know? How would you know who that is? And she's like, oh, my bad. I should not have said anything because y'all not supposed to know that I know all the goings about with the Russells. So let me just keep down the dial up. But I was like, well, I was shocked when Mrs. Winterton came up. I was like, I forgot. I tried to place her for him. I was like, oh yeah, that's her. Crazy.
And I don't like it. Well, one, mind you, she's trying to get the tea from Monica, just like Bertha did to her last season. Two, I don't really like with the Russells being at odds with this Jezebel around. I don't like it. Also, playing into the theme that I've been saying, here we have her marriage where her husband's on the way out. It's so just interesting how they're like leveling up. Like, again, the name of the episode was Marriage is a Gamble. And we are literally seeing the Russian roulette of all of these marriages and how it kind of like ties in together. But yeah, I was not happy to see her, and I wasn't sure why she was married, invited to Gladys's wedding. They could have been left off of the invitation.
Yeah, I think
And-
the only reason she would do that is be like, look at me. Look at
Right.
look at me. But that's it.
But see, that's your problem, Mrs. Russell.
Yes.
Stay in your lane. Now,
Yes.
refresh my memory, though. Her and Mr. Russell never did anything.
Correct.
She was just like naked in the bed, right?
Correct.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
From what I remember, she was trying to get George to come over to the dark side. George's like, hell no, you know who my wife is? My wife is Bertha Russell. If I do this, I will die. I will be dead. She will kill me. So get the hell out my house. Get out my bedroom. Like he was like, get out my house. He's like, get out my bedroom. We won't talk about it. Like I don't. You just stay away from me. I'll stay away from you. All done. I don't want no drama. I don't want no mess. Let's just not talk about this at all. And yeah, because she disappeared and then came back with old Mr. Winterton. And I was like, oh, is that who I think it is? I was like, oh, that is. So yeah, I'm curious to see how much more we'll see of her in the future in this season.
Now, I also will say, though, because I can't be a hypocrite, right? Now, again, like I said, Mr. Russell is my man, and I'm riding for Mrs. Russell. However, Mrs. Winterton, I'm not mad at her, though, right? Like, for her to be able to kind of, like, reinvent herself, it's like the spooky game of, like, okay, so we got to play by these rules, but it's like the first couple of seasons of Survivor, like when you get to season 1 through season 4, it's different from season 28 to season 30, right? Like, before the rules are really invented. So I do admire and do respect her, right? Like, going from a footsmaid to now being in society. I love the game that she is playing, and I wish our cousin, Ida and Agnes's cousin over there in Newport, I need for them to meet up because I need for her to play this game like she played it, because stop letting these men. First
She
of
could
all,
like have a whole business on how to do. She could be like,
right.
Hey, women, are you unhappy in your marriage? Do you need some social mobility? I'm Mrs. Winterton. Like, the first MLM is born. Yeah, and also on the marriage front, to keep with that, we had a conversation between Mr. Borden and Mrs. Bruce this episode, where it turns out Mrs. Bruce is not just a Mrs. because she's older. She's a Mrs. because she was married.
Wow. I was like, okay, like this mini plot that we've been getting, like we've gotten 2 minutes at a time every episode of this mini plot of like one thing happens in this plot every episode that takes 2 to 3 minutes. It's like, hey, my wife's dead. It's like, hey, maybe I want to ask you to marry me. Hey, will you marry me? No, because my husband's like has melancholia. Basically, like he's
Depression,
depressed
yeah.
and he's in an asylum.
And
Before he had Xanax, I guess.
he's paying for his treatment, and that's like taking all of her money. So
all the money.
Some things never change. Some things never change. Healthcare costs an arm and a leg. Dead. It does so.
But like, not the fact that like you're in an asylum, like that, just like, and then you gonna use all like, what?
Well, and
That-
so
like,
she's got to work for herself. Anything she gets from the Russells is for her own livelihood. If she loses that job, she's pretty much out on the street. Like she has to figure out a new way to go. And she like loves Miss Borden. So she's just in this place where it's like, and she again cannot divorce her husband because it is not adultery. She can't. So that's because that's the only reason. So she too is trapped by the institution of marriage, even though she's trying to do what's right for herself.
But like, the thing that pissed me off about her a little bit this episode was that, okay, so you didn't think about that when y'all going to the operas and y'all going on these dates? Like, where was that at? Like, first of all, I wish you to just be like, yeah, but no, I can't. And also, you can keep that ring from your deceased. Why? Like, I don't want that ring, sir.
I don't need a ring that was just on a dead lady's hand like 2
Right.
weeks ago. Like I don't need that.
She
That's
was
bad
like,
luck.
Was that your wife's ring? He's like, I like to think of it as my mother's. I'll pass. But I hope they can keep their love affair going, and I hope that they can maybe expand. Like, I don't know, but it's just interesting.
We're gonna
to
get
see
this
all
storyline 2 minutes at a
2
time
minutes.
every episode.
It's like the mini soap opera in the middle of the big soap opera.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's wrap up the wedding and just talk about like the walk down the aisle, the vows, the wedding nights. I'm so sorry, Gladys, that this is your life. Like that was me the whole time. And the concern everyone had while she was going up there, and Bertha basically saying, just let me live this moment, George. Let me be happy.
Bertha is literally the only person in that whole chapel that's like smiling and being like, yes, fine. Everybody else is looking at Gladys's face, literally crying as she's walking down the aisle, like, oh damn, like, I kind of feel sorry for her. Is this supposed to be a sad wedding? Like, what are you supposed to be doing here? It's like she does not want to do this at all.
But think about it in this. Okay, again, take out that Gladys is actually a person, and this is what really happened, right?
Check out her whole humanity, please.
Well, this is true, based on a
is-
true story. So this did kind of happen to someone. But let's forget that for a
This
minute.
is Mrs. But right, just for a second.
Just for a
This is Mrs. Russell, like a merger, right? This is
Yes.
a business
Yes.
deal. This is like Mr. Russell getting all of those railroads to merge with him, and essentially when he buys them out, the workers of those railroads, they're going to go broke. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is what Mr. Russell is doing will be successful. However, he is going to put a lot of people out of business and a lot of people out of work. So it is still sad in that realm. So Mrs. Russell is like, let me just live in my glory that our daughter is going to be a duchess. Like, I hate to admit, but it's like, I feel what Miss Russell is like. We are elevating ourselves. Now, pause. The thing that, like, I had to clutch my pearls when Gladys was in that carriage and before they got out, and the dad was like, I love you. And she was like you said now, Daddy, I love you. But like you said now, we're too far gone. Like, that hits hard. And I took it as like, she's like, well, now I have to do what's in the best interest of me, and I love you. But like, I don't know, that hit deep when she said that to him. I was like, oh.
Well, it's almost like you put me in this impossible situation, and there's literally nothing I can do about it right now. Because I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. If I don't do it, I am the shame of New York. If I do it, I'm just in a terrible marriage. So I guess let's do this? ? Let's go. So she's really in a tough spot. That her mother and her father put her. Because I feel like George did not push hard enough on Bertha to make this not happen. If he didn't want this to happen.
Well, he did squash it. He offered them a deal. The Duke didn't take it. He washed his hands, and then Bertha was Bertha in and snuck behind. So, I mean, he did kind of essentially put an end to it.
Yeah, he was all like, it looks like you don't have to marry him to me.
Right.
Like, I think I did it for you. And I think it's just like, I appreciate what you're saying here, Brice, about like the institution of marriage and how we're seeing all of these different women and men at different levels of society. And what, even though, you know, Gladys is super rich, she could have anything she wants. This is still something that comes to her front door. This is still something that she has to deal with. And she's like, it was heartbreaking watching her go up to the altar, and then basically the priest is like, listen, if you have any reason, but this is like, if you have any impediment or anything to say that this is not a marriage in the eyes of the Lord, like now is the time to say it. Otherwise, this is it. And I like how everyone's kind of like, does she know what she's doing? Like, is this really a thing?
Yeah, everybody is somber except for Bertha, who's just like, yes, I'm getting my status. I'm gonna be the mother of a duchess, whatever that title is. I'm gonna be that.
But again, when we're looking at society, and I know, again, taking the humanity out of it, right? Like, the women have no say, right? Like, their only step in the world in this time is to marry, right? And, bitch, I love, but like,
well, and just
in
to like
society,
just to put it into perspective, like women couldn't get credit cards until 48 years ago. So like, yeah. So like, not only was that like, this is something that it still impacts women's lives today. It's like
women don't have agency. In this time.
At this time, it's way low. Vote. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like,
right now,
it just continues. Like, it just keeps going. Even to this day, what we see, what's going on in the world with like women's rights and all that stuff. So like, it is deep baked into America, unfortunately.
And this is why I love the Gilded Age. And I was like telling one of my friends, I call him my weekend companion. He don't like the Gilded Age. And I keep trying to tell him, I'm like, you like Boardwalk Empire. You like The Sopranos. This is this. It just has a Bridgerton feel. And so I was making him watch this episode with me, and he just wasn't into it. But like, I was trying to, the parallel that I loved about the Gilded Age is that like the Gilded Age, like they dress it up, but like, we're seeing some despicable things happen, and that is just normal to society. And what I love is that, like, how we're looking at Gladys, and my best friend is calling Gladys a spoiled brat. That's her words, not mine, right? And again, she's being married off, but she's being married off to the dukes. And then, like, on the opposite end, like I said, where the women that are divorced not honorably, they go to Newport. That's like the hook. But then we look at it, and that's where the Black people are thriving. And then you have Miss Scott giving this talk about, like, Jim Crow, women's rights to vote. It's like...
Yeah, it's just like...
Hold on, wait. Black women have always been fighting this fight.
Yes.
Like, it's like we are... Sorry, because I just, like...
Get it out.
Like, we're arguing about Gladys, right? And again, like... I'm with you. I'm sad for Gladys, but it's like, you the Duchess. Here we have Miss effing Scott.
Exactly.
Who, like, if we're talking about women, okay, like, and oh, sorry. This is why I just love the Gilded Age, because not only, like, we get to see the stark differences, right? Where Miss Scott is this educated Black woman, like, she still got to go through the servants' quarters at the Scott's house, let alone trying for a women to vote. You think they're going to let Black women vote before they let white women vote? Then Miss Scott just trying to find love. She finds with Dr. Kirtland, and you meet the Kirtlands with this colorism, this closeness to whiteness, and it's like, Black women, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, they just have been fighting the fight, and the fact that when you just compare the parallels and you see, like, it is just, it's crazy. And I just love the way the Gilded Age does it. They do it tastefully. They do it simply. But when you stop to actually think about, like, Miss Scott's life, first of all, Miss Scott is educated.
She's so much more accomplished. She's much more accomplished than Gladys is.
That's...
If you think anything about it, and Gladys is sitting up here in the lap of luxury. And like you said, Brice, Peggy's still going to the servant quarters.
Well, and isn't that like the thing though? Like, again, I am not Black, but like, you have to work so much harder than rich white people. Like, there's just so much, like, I just think of in Scandal when Olivia Pope's dad is like, you have to work 10 times harder to be like just mediocre, like just to be on that level of, and I think to your point, Brice, the show does a really good job of making that because someone could just tune into the show and be like, I'm just watching this like old-timey period piece type of thing. But we're really, most of our conversations today have been about the institution of marriage, what it's like between white people and Black people during this time, about how like it is a privilege that Gladys has the opportunity to worry about who she is going to marry, let alone Peggy worrying about if she's going to have a say in her own future by being able to vote. Gladys will be able to vote, no problem. But Peggy's in a much different state.
Advocating.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, doing the work. Like, it's just crazy to me. And then it's like the proximity to whiteness, right? Like, we're in this community where Peggy is this beautiful brown-skinned woman, and here we got damn Phyllis Rashad talk about get the umbrellas for her grandbabies, and like we see this colorism, and then like the thing that pisses me. Sorry, I'm just
get it out.
I've been dying,
please,
like I said.
Yeah.
Jason ain't give me no day, so I got to take my opportunity. You see the Kirklands, like they're high yellow, and it just again like in the Black community, like this fetishization, that's not even a word, but just go with me. But like in this Black community, like light skin and red bone, and like we see this in modeling, we see this all over the place. And like here you have this man that used to be a effing slave that like got trained, has started his own business, and y'all have the nerve to look down on him because he was a slave, like he wasn't born free. That boggles my mind. I'm like, wouldn't that make you respect him more and be like, well, that's all you like? It's just crazy, the societies. And like, I love the fact that they show us these parallels where it's like, let's be clear, Black people, even given the circumstances, we were still out here thriving in Newport, okay? But you see Mr. Kirkland and Peggy going on the date and seeing all the Black people, we were still thriving and still being amazing in parallel universes. But it's like, you still see the BS in the universes. And when Peggy's mom stood up to Felicia Rashad this episode, I had to pause it and rewind it. My weekend pillow companion was like, you're being annoying. And I said, press play, okay? Because Peggy mom handed it to her. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, well, like, Mrs. Kirkland's like, yeah, but like, your husband's not a very important man, right? Like, he's not like us. And I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Girl, and when you had that cough.
And it's such a juxtaposition to what George is a self-made man. George started his own business. He did all this stuff. And then you've got Mr. Scott out there trying to do it. And even in his own community, he is not seen as to the same stature as George is.
They're looked at as it's Marissa, you just made such a good point. Sorry, I'm getting so hot. I don't turn my air on in my podcast room. But like, again, when we talk about the differences of race and growing up in this, when you're white and come from nothing, they call it new money, right? Like, when you're a slave and build something, you're looked upon that you weren't born free. Let's also be clear that Mr. Scott is out here in the pharmacy. He's making elixirs. Girl, Miss
Serve
Kirkland.
The community.
Okay, Miss Kirkland, you was having cough 3 months ago, and that penicillin that I'm pretty sure it wasn't from a cough, but we going out. I mean, okay. Because I know your husband, because anyway, but like he's out here, you're taking his medicine.
Yeah. And she just has like, Jason and I talked a little bit about this in the last podcast. It's just like the power of whiteness and how it seeps into everything. And people don't even recognize it or realize it. And so that's what I'm really enjoying this part of the Gilded Age, is they're actually giving space for this conversation to say, like, look at how big whiteness is. Not only is it like impacting the white characters or whatever, because even like if you take JJ, right? JJ just got given a bunch of money. He's going to have so much more rights, so much more social mobility, so much everything than Peggy, who has gone to school, done all this other stuff, made a life for herself. All of it.
JJ can come into New Money Society immediately after he gets his money. if Arthur was to get this money, he would still be shunned by the society. He would not be let in at all. If he had the same amount of money for the same thing, he would not be let in at all. And it's a shame that he faces that even in his own community, his own, biosphere, his own society, where he's looked down upon. He's worked harder than most of these people combined. Probably he's pulled himself up from his bootstraps. Everyone else here is from a lineage. He did it on his own, but he's looked.
The man was a slave, Jason. Like the man was okay, but hold on, wait. Hold on, wait. I gotta get some glasses because I also just want to be clear. I do like the Kirkland son, right? I think that, first of all, I also think it is very interesting that he's going after a Peggy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he is rebelling against the family, but it's like Mr. Scott said, I don't want them to get married and have grandkids. I do like Mr. Kirkland, but I want to be clear. Under no circumstances, because I did see the preview, I don't want, what would Langston Hughes, who's
Mr. Fortune?
Yes.
What's
Mr. Fortune.
Mr. Fortune. Peggy, stay away. I don't want him.
Listen, Peggy, if they're both bad options, you don't need no man. Like, be on your own. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to take one of the lesser evil here. If you don't need a man, you don't need a man. But if William is willing to be like, listen, if we got cut off my mother, we'll cut off my mother.
But he ain't gonna do that because we see Jason. Listen, this is why I love the Gilded Age. They do these little things. When they were leaving her speech, you saw the mom turn around and said, Theodore, are you coming with us?
And his response was, if you want to, Mom. If you want me to, I will.
That was very telling. Jason, you gotta make a broccoli salad when you watch this, because that was very telling.
Yeah.
She's not going anywhere. She ain't going nowhere. But I don't want.
I see Peggy to find love. That's what I want for Peggy. Peggy needs to find the right one and stop putting her with these mama's boys, these adulterers. Like, stop doing it. Stop. Well, listen, this show, like with the iconic Black actresses they are having on this show, Felicia Rashad, Audrey McDonald, Leslie Uggams is coming up. Like, wow, like this is a tour de force. I'm like, oh my God, this is so great that they're having these people on this show. But listen, Felicia Rashad is evil incarnate, but I'm glad she's here.
She's doing such a great job.
She's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Such a good job. When I say I hate her so bad, I hate her so bad. And that is only because she is such an amazing actor. But I also love how much time we get of these Black storylines, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not just, that's why the Gilded Age is such a melting pot. And I love it.
One more thing. If we look at the difference between what Peggy has to look for in love versus what Marion has, like they talk about it all the time, right? Like they're girls, chit-chatting up and Peggy's so excited that Marion's found love. Like every single time, I found love. So I don't know if Peggy is going to have the opportunity to marry for love. Like I hope she does. I really do. But like every time, she is brought into a situation with a man, there's something that kind of prevents her from being able to move forward. And so I'm really interested. I would be happy to see Peggy just be a strong, independent woman. Her character is based on an amalgamation of a lot of Black women who have helped form this country. So I don't know if she needs a man, but at the same time, I want her to be in love. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm in both of these camps.
It's kind of wild how the Kirklands are almost the parallel to the Russells, where you have this matriarch that's looking down her nose at people, and everybody else is like, girl, like give it a rest. Like, can you relax? Like, I love Mr. Kirkland and William being like, Mom, come on, like, stop, please, don't.
But is that not Mrs. Russell? Is that
right?
Not,
exactly.
Like they're the same characters. Like, yeah, the husbands are the businessman, and the women are like, we need to carry this to do in this upward in society. So it's like they're so parallel. And again, that's why I love the Gilded Age, where it's like, as much as we are different, we are the same, but also just because of the colonization and
and capitalism and
but,
colonization.
Just, segregation, racism, all that other stuff. But the thing with Peggy though is Like, I think what I love about Peggy's storyline is because we see the cousin, right? The cousin at their house, they're staying in Newport. And I don't know if y'all caught the shade that Peggy's mom and the cousin fell out because the family didn't want Peggy mom to marry the dad. So they stopped talking. They're recently reconnected. And the cousin is very much so pushing Peggy like, baby, they went to Harvard. They've got property. They're good. You need to like, and I love Peggy like, well, I want to love the person for who I loved him for. And then I love Peggy's mom essentially being like, well, I married for love and it worked out for me. So I do think that Peggy will marry for love, but it is just so interesting to see these dynamics and these relationships and like the societal standards. But it's just like, wait, can we cuss on here?
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
It's just like it's the bullshit of like these societal standards of like, we've got to get married. We need status. Meanwhile, your housemaid is in your husband's bedrooms. Your son is gay. Y'all are gambling. You got Miss Cleo now stealing your money. It's like, it's the same thing, but everyone wants to act, we're so proper and prim. And it's like, these men are still dogs.
Yeah.
Society is trash. People are it's just like.
But money can keep that out of the papers. Money can bend the story. Money can, when you add money into that, then the divide between us becomes greater because different people have access to different resources and can't necessarily handle these scandals in the same way that their counterpart could.
And I love how, I don't know if like any of your parents or like your kids or like your they're like, oh, my day, I'm glad we didn't have social media. Bitch, y'all had Instagram and Twitter. It's that damn newspaper.
Exactly.
Like, it's
exactly. Like you could tell, like even in this episode when Agnes reads the news about Mrs. Astor, it's like it's very British, it's very Lady Whistledown, it's very all of that. But it's like just like you saw a tweet.
Paper too.
Yeah, exactly.
We just gossiped at a slower rate back then. Okay, like, it wasn't instantaneous.
Well, and I think like gossiping is paramount to being human. Like I think that's just how like we all connect as humans, and so it's always going to be here no matter what form it's in.
But it was instantaneous, Jason, because it was the evening paper, right? Like, it's like they came out at 7:00 and we saw the lady, Agnes. She was ready, reading, like getting into it. So I just,
Well, and she like got
people
dissed last episode because she wasn't listed as like a donor in the newspaper. So like the newspaper is the Twitter feed of the time.
Yes,
it really is.
Sure. Let's finish up on the wedding and the extremely uncomfortable last scene.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. I hate this scene. I hate this scene so much because it's in every single period piece. There is this thing about like, hey, your mom told you what's going to happen, right? Like there's always this type of thing. And Gladys is like, she told me, and he's like, great, so let's go. Like let's.
You're tired. You're tired though, right? That was a long day. Like you had a really long day, long night last night. You're tired, right? He's like, I'm tired. Well, I ain't that tired.
But not that tired. I was like, and that is
she's
where
like 18.
I think that, right? She's like, it has to be 16. Like they were considered like, but that is where that humanizes me for Gladys, though, right? Like where again, I said all of what I said, but I'm talking about the status and the privilege. But like at the heart of it, like. This is
well, and he's all like, I'd like to wake up as a proper man and wife. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
It's so terrible because she's so resigned to her fate in that moment to be like, yeah, I know, we gotta do this thing. Like, and she's like, it's gonna hurt, right? He's like, oh no, Gladys, no. Well, like I was like, oh my god.
Some women learn to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
And again, not even to get to like but we could go there real quick. Like when you read the statistics and talk about some of the women that like have never achieved the O, right? Like I really think it's systemic, right? Like I don't think it's like a thing like, oh, we're not like, it's like you literally, he is saying some women even learn to enjoy it. No, you mean
it's rare, but some do. How many people were even that in touch with themselves and their body to know that was even a thing?
Well,
It's like,
if women had pleasure, it was seen as like evil. Like the woman was a witch.
Right.
There was like they were outcast from society, all this stuff. So you kind of had to like keep it like on the down low that you even loved sex if that was something that was there. But it wasn't the purpose of sex. The purpose of sex was ownership and procreation. And
you know how like they want their women pure and all of this stuff, but then in the same time, brothels are still thriving. Like it's like men are still just disgusting, and it's like y'all are just hypocrites and liars.
And like not much has changed. Unfortunately, like still going. It's still there. And yeah, I mean, the patriarchy is also at fault this episode as well. It's capitalism, it's the patriarchy, it's whiteness. They're all under white supremacy, but still, I think the show does a really good job kind of explaining it to people in a way, like because we have those lenses, we can pick up on these things, but I think it even does a good job for people who don't have those lenses as well.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yes, I think anything else you had, Brice, about the episode, about the show as a whole?
This ain't gonna be my last episode. I just hope y'all know. Okay,
Please come back.
You want me to give you a date? You want me to give you an episode right now?
No, at this
or do you want to
pick time, Jason? I will text you at the next pivotal moment. But like, you don't understand. Every Monday morning, me and my best friend we're like supposed to be at work. We are having 45-minute conversations about this, and I love just the nuances, and I'm just thankful that I have friends like Marissa and Jason that we can come here and talk about some of like the uncomfortable nuances and like get down to like really having conversations, because I think that's what period pieces like this are about, to spark these conversations, to see the differences back then that are still the same. We see this election, we see how Black women voted, and we see in this episode now, we got Black women rallying to vote, and these women that were outcasted to Newport just spend their time to just go. But anyway, I digress.
Well, Brice, I'm super happy we had you on to get your perspective, to get your views and everything. It was definitely worth the squeeze having you on. We've been, since last season, we've been like, we gotta get Brice on, we gotta get Brice on. They finally did it, and I'm so happy that we did. Do you want to give the people everywhere they can find you, all your podcasting stuff, where they can find you on social media, all that good stuff?
Yes, just Brice Izyah, BriceIzyah, on Instagram, Twitter, the 7 p.m. newspaper if you are looking for the gossip. And the Purple Pants podcast covering Survivor, Amazing Race. I'm in the middle of my summer rewatch of Amazing Race season 15. It is amazing. I am weeks away from unveiling the new Brice Izyah 2026 Zaddy calendar, which is super exciting. Wendell and I are gearing up for Brice and Win Tour 49. We'll be releasing dates soon. So yes, come follow the baby boy, Brice Izyah. And again, thank you two so much for having me. This was so much fun. I was getting worried. I'm like, Jason ain't texted me all day. I hope he didn't forget, because I was dying to come talk to you and Marissa. So I can't thank you enough. And if you are listening now, please make sure you are subscribing to this podcast, giving it a thumbs up. Let's see some comments on the Apple podcast, because I think Jason and Marissa are doing amazing work. So let's see some comments, please, and some ratings. Let's support our young creators out here.
Thank you,
young
Brice.
creators.
I mean, well, Marissa is young. Jason is seasoned.
Well,
Seasoned
Brice,
vet out here.
I'll make sure that we're connected on social. So if you ever like really want to come out, you can talk to me, and you don't have to go through Jay's. Okay.
Oh, try to go around me. Okay.
Thank you.
Jeez.
Thank you, Marissa. I will see. Marissa, come to Newport. Okay, we can pod in Newport. But wait, I also want to know, and I keep meaning to do this. Actually, let me write this note down, because this is based off of real events.
Yes.
Right. So it makes me want to like look into the person that created the clock. And I do wonder, is Newport, it's Newport, Virginia that they're going to, or Newport?
I think it's like, Connecticut. I think it's Newport, Connecticut. Yeah. And it was real. Like all of that stuff was there, and all of that stuff was real. So they're like exploring. It was like the Hamptons at the time. Like they'd go up in the summer, and like white people would go up in the summer. Black people would establish society there, but it's all real.
Because there's the Hamptons, and then there's Martha's Vineyard. That's like the Black Hamptons. So it makes me just want to do a little research on Newport. Because I want to take a trip there. Like I love just the historical context provided by the Gilded Age.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many rabbit holes I've been down. I was talking about who made the book Brooklyn Bridge, or I'll be like, Jason, hold on, history time, blah blah blah. It's all this stuff. It's great that gets people to do that.
Marissa's had a past life as a history teacher,
Yes.
so I get all the lessons every week about what's real, what's not, all that good stuff. So yeah, if you ever need a history lesson, go to Professor Garza. She'll hit you up.
I'd be happy to.
And I hope my TikTok algorithm takes me to the Gilded Age. Like my TikTok algorithm is still on From. I'm still like getting like From stuff. Like I need the TikTok algorithm to give me the Gilded Age.
I will tell you, there are so many Black creators talking about the Gilded Age on TikTok. It's such a fun place to be and very educational place to be. So I'll send you some things, Brice, so that you can get on that side.
Please, yes. Thank you, Jason, for connecting us. This was so much fun. Again, all right, I'll shut up.
I'm so glad I could make this connection. I'm so happy for you guys.
Thank you for inviting us to the benefit so that we.
Yeah, totally. Marissa, do you want to give the people where they can find you and what you're
Sure.
up to recently?
Of course, I'm always here talking with Jason about the Gilded Age and the Good Wife /Elsbeth / The Good Fight when we get to it here over on the Good Pod. You can find me at itsmemarissag.com. That's where you can find my email address, all my links to all my other socials. If I'm up to something, it will be there. Jason, what's your calendar looking like this? You've had a busy slate the last couple of times. What's going on this week?
Yeah, luckily things are slowing down a little bit. Luckily, you got a couple of my podcasts out the way, Marissa. I'm also over on the Perfect Match podcast. We just started our Patreon. We're doing older seasons of Married at First Sight right now until the new season comes out. So we're doing that. I don't know what it is. I have a thing about third boots. Me and Asia Welch. We are on that podcast, chopping it up all the time. So come on over. We're having a blast over there. Right? Right? You got something smart you want to say?
No, wait, because it's the 7 o'clock tea.
Yeah.
And how do I phrase this? My aunt goes to a church, and my aunt, maybe 2 years ago, got married to someone in Nigeria, and he recently came, they were married for like a year and a half now, and I've been meaning to tell you and Asia this, but mind you, I don't know why I'm telling you this on the podcast, but don't tell my mom, y'all. But my aunt, he literally, I think it's July, hold on, because July, wait, I'm going to look at the calendar, because July 11th, they met, he's in Philadelphia, I'm just saying, the first 90 days is really the first 90 days. I'm trying to tell,
I'm like, what? You talking about 90 Day Fiance? Me and Asia talking about Married at First Sight, Brice.
Well, listen, listen. I was just telling you my family.
It's all the same family. It's all the same
It
family.
is.
I was like, you lost me for a second, but yeah, those are places you can find me. Those places you can find Marissa. Those places you can find Brice. Until next episode, get rich, stay rich.